Yeah.
Free at last, free at last.
It's that guy. He did it. Yay. Yay. Look at him.
What's the odds on anybody watching knowing why I pulled this up?
Not very high. Not very high. Hello and welcome to News from the Pew. We talk about stuff. It's great. I'm your host, Rick Barrett. It's too hot out for introduction. Yeah. Internet
Welcome
stuff.
To Walmart, get out of here.
Yeah, right. Internet stuff. We make fun of it. Good. Let's get to it. I'm with your the godfather of Catholic YouTube and purveyor of other things, all cultural, Mr. Steve Cunningham. And I'm very happy. I'm very thankful to Steve for fitting me in outside of our normal time, since I am going to be on my way to the Catholic land movement tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. I will be presenting on Saturday at the Catholic. If you're in the northeastern area and you want to hear my talk on homestead defense, I will be there. I'll be presenting in the afternoon on Saturday, but there's so many other great things that are taking place at the Catholic Land Movement. Michael Thomas is doing a great job putting that thing together. Go to CatholicLandMovement.org, I believe it is. There's still tickets. You can sign up, and they're having, the bishop is doing a Latin mass on Sunday, a high mass at noon. It's going to be an awesome time. So it's definitely an example of not tweeting about things, but doing things. And I'm once again, very honored to be a part of that. So Steve's being nice enough to do our show now in the middle on Wednesday.
They ask cool people like you.
That I'm what you call the roster, the 12th man, the guy who fills out the roster. What was the guy's name? I'm ML Carr. I just I wave the towel. That's kind of what I do. And so outside of that, nothing else is there. But we got some stuff to talk about. Luckily, of course, we have stuff to talk about. It's the internet. We always have things to talk about. It's debate week in America, and everybody's freaking out about it. Meanwhile, the Russian citizens are actually being attacked by U.S. weapons. And if you don't think that's a big deal, you need to check yourself on that. We also have the FBI coming out and saying, yeah, by the way, all the whole Trump Mar-a-Lago raid with all the top secret documents. Yeah, that was all fake. None of that stuff was top secret. We actually brought top secret cover sheets essentially for their TPS reports and put them in front of a bunch of stuff to make it look bad. And so we have that as well. Just all kinds of excellent things here on News from the Pew. And of course, it's debate week in America. And there's nothing else anybody cares about. Who cares about anything? Because it's going to be the epic triumphant clash of Biden v. Trump, round 2, electric boogaloo, rumble in the jungle.
Good versus evil.
Good versus evil. Some people are taking a little out of Some people get a little wacky with it. I'm not going to lie. This is Donald Trump we are talking about. But yeah, so in case you haven't heard all of the...
It's on CNN, right?
Yeah, it's going to be on CNN, and we'll talk about that. Do you have a clip of it or no?
Yeah, there's is it Jake Tapper?
Jake Tapper. Jake
Amazing rhetoric of Adolf Hitler is once again alive and well on a national political stage. This time, of course, in the United States. Donald Trump, a couple times over the weekend, referred to immigrants from South America, Africa, and Asia. He did not mention Europe. South America, Africa, and Asia as, quote, poisoning the blood of our country, which it's not hyperbole. That does very directly echo Adolf Hitler's language before World War II. To open up a copy of Hitler's Mein Kampf,
because Jake Tapper has,
you would find the Nazi leader describing the mixing of non-Germans with Germans as poisoning. There's really no other way to say it. Donald Trump's language mirrors this directly.
That's just, we have a clip of the pregame of the debate. This is not now for public. It's that they're practicing right now.
Legs, and of course
that turn blonde in the sun.
Golly, like really, that's some stuff. And if you were to call out Fake Tapper and all of his stuff, this is what happens to you.
It takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently,
we're going to stop this interview if you're going to keep
President
attacking
Trump
my colleagues.
Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you
I'm
continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back.
Yeah, she took her ball and she went home. That's what she did. And folks, it's going to be funny. I don't care about the debate. Steve and I are on record. Trump's going in. He's getting installed. That's the whole thing. I have my reasons. Steve has his reasons. But they got to
I told you I was going to watch Fever highlights.
Oh, Steve's not going to watch it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to because of travel and so forth, but they have to do these for ratings, man. They got to keep you somewhat interested, but I don't know, Steve. What do you think?
It's the biggest daggum distraction of all distractions. I remember we were leaving Mass Sunday, and I remember because Father said before the sermon that there was one of the seminarians were going to do a presentation on Catholic art for the next 3 weeks, starting I think this Thursday, or his last Thursday. He's doing this Thursday and then next Thursday. And a lady walked by us talking to a couple of people. I overheard the conversation. She was, elderly, 70, 80 years old. Said, well, yeah, I wanted to go to that lecture, but it's the first debate. Maybe I'll go and I'll just record the debate. I almost dropped my stuff and wanted to ask her. My dad used to have this line: Did you take your stupid pills? And just because I'm going, really? You can't wait to listen to this, but they're all brainwashed into this is the greatest thing in the world. This is good versus evil, as we've joked about before. This is the most important election of your lifetime until 2 years later, which that will be the most important, and 2 years that will be the most important, and 2 years later, and so on and so on and so on. And you're voting for the lesser of two evil, even though you vote for evil. It's still evil, but you're voting for the lesser of two evil, even if say that we'll bring up, since they said Hitler. All right, it's Hitler versus Stalin. Well, vote for the last of the two evils. Not comparing either one to either of those, I'm just saying. But it's a stupid logic, stupid mindset for this, but we're engraved into it. Trump, Biden, this is terrible. This vote's going to save the world, save us. It's going to bring, lollipop's going to come out of pop out of little pigeon booties, and everything's going to be, angels are going to be dancing on top of the stars, and Kyrie eleison will be singing from the moon. It's just going to be great, grand, and this glorious day will happen. I don't know what people have been smoking for the last. I get it. You want somebody to. 4 years ago, you had a guy come out of the back and he was saying all the things you were saying in there. People were going, yeah, that's what I want. Stop this crap about just being polite to each other. Punch them in the face, which was what the Democrats have been doing for 50, 60, 70, 80 years. Just, mocking them to their face, calling them idiots, liars, losers, punch them in the face. But then they had a guy who was in their camp, moved from their camp, do the exact same playbook to them, and took it to them, which, if that was real, that would be great. But since that was all scripted, and we know that the Pied Piper thing came through, which Clinton's helped bring him up to try to get Trump going a little bit more. The whole idea, the tea kettle idea, letting the steam come out. If people don't know, there's that great thing that Corbett did on hopium. Well, the iconic thing of Trump going down the escalator was all paid actors to be involved in that. None of this is real. It's just like when people get, AI. You've been living in the WWF realm for the last how many Google years of thinking that everything you saw on TV was real. Now you get AI involved. Now nothing's real. Yep. Who knows? Even we'll show the thing of Crimea. You can also go, wow, did that bombing really happen? That could easily be AI. If this moron can come out with AI stuff, Imagine a guy that has half a brain that can work this stuff. Come on, with
And
all
an unlimited budget.
Huh?
And an unlimited budget.
Oh, yeah. Just weird. Just anything, question everything. That's the last American Vagabond comes up with. That's his line, question everything. But yeah, I mean, this to get to the point that this is the greatest thing on everyone's radar and never question anything. I mean, just like we said before, the bombings, the money to Planned Parenthood, the most gay-supported president we've had, lockdown, the father of the jab. None of that's even spoken about. When you think Fauci, you have to think DJ because he gave him the keys. Here's the key to here's the key to Mar-a-Lago. Use it. Do whatever you want to it. You run. I'll use their own words. You're in charge of the country, not DJ. Fauci and Birx. They got the keys. Who gave them the keys? They just didn't go down to the Enterprise and pick them up. He literally gave it to them. So I mean, I don't. It's just weird how the people that are talking about this just absolve them for anything. And then you got obviously people talking about having masks and so forth. Great. Why aren't you doing it for Brandon? I mean, aren't everyone made in the image of likeness? Maybe everyone has to watch the kids video of Friends of Luigi that I put up because he goes through the Baltimore Catechism. Why are we made? And if we are made in God's image and likeness, all of us, why do we hate Pelosi? And I'm not saying go out and invite them over for dinner or anything like that. Shouldn't we be praying for them just as much as we praying for Trump? But no, you talk about the Americanism religion, just full blown. It's, Trump's our savior in a Mormon sense. He's riding in on that horse to save the nation. In that glorified, sanctified, as they say, it's a sanctified land in D.C. and the sanctimonious capital that was violated by the opinions, heretics that came in with the police entourage opening the door for them and taking selfies by them. And, little old lady in there having a, photo with a flag. Those, by the way, there was a real, was a protester. You see, Kenya. You want to look at one of those really happens? Here's Kenya the other day. And sorry I didn't pull the video, but you can't hear it. There's gunshots going off in the back, explosions going off. You saw the tear gas being shot off. Kind of remembers it was a couple years ago when the people took over the Capitol, or was it somewhere in South America? Cars blowing up. They're not taking selfies right there. But we're all conditioned to think this, vote harder. This will save you. I will promise you everything you want me to do. And if you still don't think that we don't have an elected king, pass the hookah pipe, baby, and tell me what you're smoking. You got something good. Everyone should know we have an elected monarch. It's
right treated there. Like such. Whenever you see him, the pomp and the circumstance that goes around his arrival anywhere, it might as well be George Washington coming in on a horse.
That funny you brought Washington up. There was a line because Abbeville Institute just brought up their video on Virginia, which is a really cool video. It's about an hour and a half long. Talks about the mindset of Virginia versus the mindset of the Puritans in the Northeast, the Bostonians, an idea with the Virginians cared about Virginia. They didn't care about if Massachusetts want to go up, as Jefferson said that during the secession movement. Go ahead. Go your separate way. We'll still trade when you work something out. Versus the opposite way of them going, we want Virginia to lockstep with us. There's a line from, who was it? Talking about Sacramento, talking about California, but I think it was Sacramento was the line. Sacramento wants Richmond to be Sacramento, whereas we in Richmond just don't care what Sacramento does. So you got that mindset of, hey, DC, everyone up there, and that's mostly all those guys. Maybe Massey might be the one lone guy that doesn't think this way. But you look at Newsom. He's, the whole thing with Louisiana with the Ten Commandments. Can't believe Louisiana. Does he stay up all night upset? Oh, my goodness. Louisiana, 2 time zones away. They're just the horror. They put the 10 Commandments. You know, we got crap on our streets down the street from me, but I can't believe Louisiana would do that. Or you see the tweets about these politicians, how they're complaining about someplace that they don't live there. The mindset is they want to force all of us to be like them instead of if you live in Mississippi, can't you just, hey, we don't want to kill babies down here. Is that terrible? Does it keep you in Oregon up all night that some place in Mississippi that we don't want to do that, or Alabama or something like that? That's why you see the national, we got to get road 2.0 back because we got to force this on everybody. We got to get that. Biden's running on abortion big time. We got to get that national abortion back in because they got to force you to do it. Whereas our mindset should be just like the Virginians. It's a federal republic. Last I checked, still doing that means they're 50 experimental thing. If you don't like this state, you can move to another state or convert that area. But if you force it on everyone and the one gigantic blanket of a thing, nothing good is going to come out of it. And we got this mindset that we just get the right emperor in DC, we're going to be fine. And we got 9 unelected tyrants behind that one elected tyrant that probably isn't elected, if you're really honest. Darn good, and we're going to be good. Happy days are here again.
Yeah, well, that's what everybody's hoping. They're hoping they want to go back to the magical days of 2016, Steve. That's when everything was great. That's when everything was all right, even though it was just as bad. You're just rose-colored glasses and looking at it through rose-colored glasses at this point. Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, the
economy was crumbing down. We're looking at the same thing as we said before. The economy was on the bottom, going down the tubes. A cough. Then the sniffles came through. Let's make this cough and sniffles into the deadliest killer thing in the world and see how stupid the public is to buy into it. Holy cow, they bought it. What else can they buy? And just
you got that bird flu coming, bud. You got that bird flu
coming in, so people will buy that again. And then a lot of people are starting to figure it out, but there's still plenty of people. I've heard it, seen people comment, "Oh, I can't believe this guy died." This guy died of the Rona because of those people that didn't think, that believed in it. Going, you're still buying into this after how many years?
I'm going back and forth with this guy on Twitter today. He's a Republican that's voting. He's a Catholic conservative that's voting for Biden to stop Trump for some reason. And I'm like, you're not a Catholic then, buddy. You realize that voting for Biden is a vote for abortion. He's like, well, I'm voting for Republicans down ballot and that'll stop his policies. I'll be all right. I'm like, you're still going to have to answer for the fact that you pulled the lever for a guy who, because we all know everybody down ballot doesn't mean nothing. It's all going to be done at the federal level at the elected king. So your spiritual director should have told you, if you don't want to vote for Trump, I don't care. Just don't vote. But don't vote for Biden thinking that you're going to be in the clear. You're going to have to answer for that, the 4 final things. You pulled the lever. You pulled the lever in support for somebody who's killing babies. Okay? I don't care what you think you're doing by voting for down ballot Republicans. You're still saying when you pull that lever that is a choice you agree with. So anyway.
In a sense, voting doesn't matter, which it doesn't. No. Why are you voting for that? But a lot of people think that voting actually counts. They got this sacrosanct sacrament from the American
public school system's crap until you see the fact that it actually isn't, because it's worked.
Yeah, I think, was it 1950s? The feds tried pretty much doing what they did in 2020 in Mexico with the president down there in Mexico, the presidential campaign. Mexico, they run these operations in quote unquote third world areas. See how they experiment, see how they work, tweak them. And they do, like we saw them play that video in the 2000s, the guy in Ohio. Yeah, they do this all the time. We're in 2024. You don't think that again, 2020 happened. Everyone, their brother knows that it went down. It's documented well. You can't prove much of it, but it did. You really think that stuff is going to differ in a couple of months? You really think that they're going, you know what? We're just going to go honest this time and just let the people have what they want. That never happens.
It's so important. Of course, they're not going to let you have it. Electing somebody is so important. Of course, they're not going to let you do it.
If you're out there in a TV land, ask your friend, do you think that's going to be an honest election? See what they say. Will it be? They've done it every year. 2020, 2016, 2014, 2012, 2008, 2004, 2000, all the way back to the beginning of this thing. They're all rigged. If the premise is correct that Trump was that outliner, then the first time there was an honest election was 2016. What are the odds in that happening? I'm trying not to be a pessimist. I'm just going like, it probably was.
I could buy the argument that it was nobody thought that he had a stone's cold shot in Hades and that Hillary Clinton was supposed to get it anyway, that they might have laxed a little bit. They weren't as on the ball as they should have been. But also at the same time, if you told me it was supposed to be, then I would be like, yeah, that makes sense too.
It'd be a hard sell. Someone have to sell it hard that it wasn't rigged. And again, I'm going 2024 going, I would be more surprised if Brandon is back in. Right off the bat. Let me ask you
this. Let's say this. Do you think this is, because we're viewing it through the lens that this is already a done deal? Do you see if Joey B can't even string sentences together and absolutely dive bombs that they just take him out, that they just remove him and put somebody else in? Or do you think they just keep him in there because it's already a done deal?
No, it's Obama running it. They just have him out. It's a perfect candidate. You got this blabbering guy that just can't make up sentences. So everyone's focused on him not being able to complete a sentence, messing up words, or when he's talking about blah, 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 or freezes, or looks like he's pooping, whatever. Everyone's focused on that part, whereas the puppet master in the back, scotch-free, clean. No, people think that, oh yeah, but Obama's running this ship. No one thinks that. Who's controlling Obama? No one thinks. They always think Brandon falling off the bicycle, falling up the steps. You got the meme with Trump hitting the golf ball, hitting him in the back of the head. Nothing.
Him doing some weird squatting.
Like that about him. They don't focus on anything else. So whoever's really in control of him, no one's even thinking about. Perfect candidate. Because if it's just Barry or someone else or whoever it was, then all the focus is on them. The focus is on Joe. Joe gets to live his dream that he said when he was second grade, told his teacher or whatever, supposedly he was going to be president of the United States, which, again, what you brought up that Washington thing that made me think was when Washington was his inaugural address, or one of the addresses, he brings up about, please, hang in there with me and let me know, I'm going to screw up. Please help me learn all my mistakes and things like that. You hear that from anybody these days? No, it's vote for me because I'm smarter than you. I'm smarter than anybody you ever known. I know how to run your lives, and y'all a bunch of idiots. Whereas back then, say whatever you want to say about the guys. They were asking people to help, think of them, pray for them, whatever. They knew they weren't the greatest thing in the world. If so, Washington probably would have stayed until he died, went back to his farm. And or J.Q. Adams died poor. And he becomes president, goes back to the Senate, because he thought there was more power there. Think about that. You imagine Biden going back to the Senate after this? No chance of God's green earth.
He doesn't even know where it is.
No, well, that too. And then the U.S. government sends an IOU to his family, and his family gets ticked because this guy, our dad, gave him 30 years of his life. Go pound sand. Now they come out, millionaires, billionaires, whatever, book contracts, Amazon deals, set for life.
Cushy jobs at CNN being analysts.
Yep, you just get on the team and you're set afterwards. But
yep, absolutely.
It is smokes. It's just a smoke screen. You're going the Fed's going to keep going. The military-industrial complex will keep going. FDA, going after your food and trying to kill you with drugs, they're going to keep going. All the stuff that you see, the FBI, all the alphabet soup mafia, they're going to keep going. So it don't matter. Put it whoever. Because the guy who says, I'm going to get rid of the Fed, ain't getting in. The guy that says he's going to get rid of the FBI, not getting in. Guy that says, I'm going to get rid of the Department of Education, not getting in. You think you're good? Oh, we're going to drain the swamp. Please.
Yeah, nope. The problem with swamps is you can drain them, but they fill right back up.
Yeah.
So
only way to drain that thing is to cut that doggone thing off. The Declaration talks about it. Yeah. On drain of abuses. Have you not had enough abuse? Set up your own government. That's the whole idea. The Virginian way. All right, we're done with you. We're going this way. Peace like chicken grease. Call us during Christmas. We'll give you a card or something. We're out. No, we got to stay in this abusive relationship till kingdom come.
So, I mean, the fact is that as long as people are people talking about the Declaration 1776, they were actually self-sufficient. They actually did not have to rely on the government. So when they were like, yeah, we need to break away from him, it wasn't a culture shock. People today, man, they are so indebted to the government, whether it's where their food comes from or
Medicaid,
money
Medicare,
or any of these other kinds of things, that when you say, hey man, you gotta do this, they're like, nah. I mean, yeah, it sounds good on Twitter and it sounds good on a bumper sticker, but yeah, if we secede, are we still going to be able to get McDonald's here? Or like, what about my chips? Not the actual chips, but my child health care. What about that? Or these other kind of stuff that
free
the government
iPhones.
has doing. So it's a great thought. Steve and I, local, except they're like, yeah, but the local doesn't really like do anything for me. Like I hate the government, except on like the first of the month when all my stuff comes in, then I'm cool with it. And a lot of people are unfortunately like that. But
it was just like that. What Massey put out a thing. What can I abolish? And everyone's like, the income tax. Talk about was it the New Hampshire on they drew up 70 reasons to leave. Number 1, abolish. You get a pay raise. Yep. How again? Well, I said that should be a selling pitch. Name a candidate that says, I'm going to get you a pay raise by letting you keep the money you earn instead of stealing it from you. Because, before 1915, when before the federal income tax came in, shocking. There were still schools. The roads still got built better. There were still wars. They were all getting paid for.
Well, there are always wars, Steve. There are always wars, and there are always ways to pay for it. They always find a way to pay for that.
How about here's yelling?
Policy from the Trump years was the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, and it promised an investment boom, which really did not materialize. It gave huge tax breaks to corporations and to wealthy individuals, and it resulted in an enormous increase in the deficit and lowered tax revenues below historic norms. And I think it's responsible for many of the problems that we face now with our fiscal trajectory.
We didn't tax
she's worth
enough
20
people.
She's worth $20 million, by the way.
20 million. Yeah, it's another question. You saw that. Another question was, do you feel a pinch when you go shopping? No, I don't feel a pinch at all.
I go shopping every week. Oh, I'm sorry. You send your lady inside the store to go to the Whole Foods.
Well, that probably happens. I mean, isn't it ironic that President Snow from the Hunger Games died this past week? Yep. We're living the Hunger Games. The Capitol lives another way. You pagans down there. And that's not totally crazy. Say like, a rebellion pops up in one of the districts. And someone brought up that the districts were made like the FEMA camps. They may try to knock you out, but they may not, because I remember that whole thing was a farce too. They went underground, and you can live. Just don't tell anybody you stood up to us.
Yeah,
type deal.
Yep. No.
They control the media. They control this. They control all the narratives. All controlled. What you see on TV is totally controlled. Those journalists, they're not free to talk about anything. If they do, they're fired. They go away. Hence. Sheila Atkinson, you look her up on YouTube. She got fired from CBS for asking a question about vaccines and autism. That's a third way. You can't say that. Anybody that talks about things, look at Tucker. Even though that was probably something, nefarious in the sense of, hey, let's plan this out. Even him Tucker's the man. He's the voice of reason, voice of freedom. He had a muzzle on his face when he was at Fox.
Yeah. I mean, he was a pusher for the big state.
Yeah.
I mean, remember, Tucker actually flew to Mar-a-Lago to tell Trump how bad COVID was.
Yeah.
Tucker was one of the people who, eventually he came around with it or whatever, but he was all in on the coof when it first popped up. So, and obviously his evolution, as Democrats like to call it, over time, has become something different. But no, Tucker was all team big government. So it is what it is in that regard. Meanwhile, big government is making sure that not only people are dying here in these United States, but also dying around the world as well at the expense at this specific command of U.S. weapons.
Hey, Daddy, what's that coming out of the sky?
It's like Independence Day. This is an attack on a Sevastopol, I think, in Crimea. And 4 people dead, 121 injured, with 5 kids injured as well. And the difference here is these weapons actually, just like in the first Iron Man, had like U.S. flags on them.
Has warned his American counterpart that U.S. arms supplies to Kiev risk further escalation. The two held a phone call on Tuesday, which Washington is said to have initiated. The conversation comes as Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said there is a growing risk of a direct armed conflict between the two nuclear powers.
At the Primakov Readings Forum, we have come to the conclusion that today there is a risk of a direct armed conflict, including from nuclear powers. We have come to the conclusion that there are questions regarding how the classical concept of nuclear deterrence works. We also concluded that we need to think about what's next and how to minimize the risk of a direct confrontation. Professional conversations on this topic must be continued through the official line. Our opponents are putting forward obviously unacceptable conditions for such a dialogue. That is, they propose, in fact, to get away from the entire hostile policy that NATO, led by the United States, is pursuing towards Russia and return to dialogue in line with patterns on those platforms and in those formats, as it happened before the beginning of the current phase of the most acute crisis in relations between Russia and the collective West. This is impossible. I think that both political science circles and officials in the West do still, in their heart of hearts, understand the questions being raised and the impossibility for us to sacrifice fundamental security interests just to avoid an acute conflict with the West.
That's not a great thing, guys. I know we didn't talk about it, but last week, I think Russia officially made it known that these United States is officially an enemy of the Russian people. And then this happens, and Joey B has given the authorization to use red, white, and blue bombs. Actually, not red, white, and blue. They're rainbow colored bombs because it's June on the people of Russia. And folks, he is determined. And here's how my tinfoil hat came on, Steve, with this one. How are they going to get this war to continue under Trump? Trump doesn't want to do any new wars, but so they started. Trump is installed, or Trump wins in November, right? And then there's that 2-month lag time. Russia's, conflict starts in Russia, conflict starts in Taiwan, it goes up in Israel, and Trump doesn't have to start any new wars, but he'll continue them. He can continue those while they're taking place. And the not even the Biden regime, but the deep state is so, and I hate to use it, they are so hell-bent to getting this, hot war with Russia. They lowered the age of the draft. They want this. They want this new European war. And don't even worry about the fact that they've genocided in the entire population of Ukraine. Okay, in 10 years, the Ukraine, I don't know what you're fighting for, because Ukraine's not going to exist as a native population anymore in 10 years. You've killed all the men. All the men are dead. All right, and they're even killing the women now, too, by sending them to the front. Like I guess you're just going to repopulate it with Muslims, right? Refugees, they'll just put themselves in there. So that they're just so desperate to get this hot war, this shooting war with Russia, that this is something that the U.S. would never admit to in previous presidencies. Like, no. We may have given it to them, but we didn't tell them not to shoot you. And that's it. That's the Ukrainians. They did it. But I don't know, Steve. They've got to get this war kicked off by the end of this year before Trump is officially put into office. What do you think?
Again, first off, if if I was anywhere outside DC, I'd be like, no, it's not the United States that's on where we at. We don't care. So guys at Pennsylvania Avenue, talk to them and take your targets off us, and focus on that little 10-mile square up in between Virginia and Maryland. That's who you want to talk. That's where your beef is. We have no beef down here, or really, I mean, people in Nebraska care what the Ruskies are doing right now? None. If you didn't have TV with 24/7 internet and satellite, you'd have absolutely zero clue what was going on the other side of the globe. Again, it goes back into the church too. You went, hey, what's the Pope? Did the Pope sneeze 5 minutes ago? Let me check on Twitter. Yeah,
Well, Steve, there's another document being rumored, buddy. There's a rumor of a thing that may happen, even though the Institute of Christ the King just had a meeting with Francis, and he's like, "Yeah, y'all keep doing what you're doing. No, just keep going and doing what you're doing." So, but
I know. Yeah, it's always a rumor.
People I get it. It makes for a great YouTube headline. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when it's banned, brother? It's like,
I told someone asked me, I go, I ain't even given 2 cents to even looking at it, reading it, don't care. Not that they don't care, but I'm going, all right, well, let's find out if it happens. If it happens, we'll go from there. If it doesn't happen, and everyone that's been blowing, screaming wolf for the last couple of weeks need to be called out on that, going, you're just a bunch of hype builders, which a lot of people have been saying that. Just calm down, relax. There's the book Pope Fiction that Patrick Madrid wrote. Very good, it's very good stuff on there. He talks about one of the popes that was trying to change the Bible, and people were losing their minds, and cardinals around going, this is going to change. This is going to end the papacy. The day he was supposed to promulgate it, he drops dead. And Madrid goes, ... Hence the gates of hell will not prevail. Obviously, this is not that same thing. This is not changing the scripture or anything like that. And like we brought up last time, it's kind of like the incorporistas that the centralists that want to say, oh, DC is the supreme being, and there's whatever they say cannot be ever changed. Lincoln won that war. You can never leave. It's the same people, the same mindset as the guys that think that Pius V's encyclical is supposed to be binding on the rest of the popes for his man of time. If that same mindset, just like we're trying to get, everyone's like, oh, we need a national ban on abortion. Well, guess what? You're going to get a national abortion bill with that same mindset. The same mindset of those guys with we can shackle the popes for on, are the same people that get that idea that the Pope can shackle everyone up. Neither are true. Whatever, say the Holy Father takes them down, the diocese down. Okay, are you telling me that the next Holy Father comes in can't redo it? There's that story about the Cadaver Synod. One Pope taking the faculties off Pope Stephen. Well, Pope Stephen took for Pope Formosus as everyone that he ordained. The next one gave him back. The next one took him away. The next one gave him back. Talk about confusion. So whatever happens, if it happens on the bad thing, blessed be God. This holy Job, forget about that guy. That guy was nuts. Screw that. We're not going to, we're Americans. It's my right. That's the mindset. Let's go back into the Americanism idea. Voting is much more sacrosanct than going to confession almost. If you vote for the wrong guy, how dare you? You know what? That's again. If you vote for the wrong guy, you're an evil scumbag that's going to hell. You cuss, watch some bad TV, it's they're free to do whatever they want. Who am I to judge? We're just as bad about that, and we just put that other thing on another level. But if he takes it away, okay. Yep. You have an option of losing your mind about it, chilling out, and just waiting it out. One guy put up, "Is you ready to take up your cross?" There's. What do you want to do? What are you planning on doing? You're invading Rome? It'll be fixed. Be at peace.
So Annie, you don't have to tell me. They've already canceled masses in my diocese. I know. So thank you for that comment. Appreciate it though. I know they've already. I only have one near me. Okay, I'm not lucky like some of y'all. even on the East Coast where you have, or even up north in northern Texas, they've got like 6 or 7. They've got a couple FSSPs and some. Not where I live. I had 2. Now I have 1.
All we
and
have
if
is
it goes
dice
from 1
here.
to 0, I'll take it as it comes.
Yeah, all we have is dicing here, and we haven't lost any. Yeah, like Virginia lost quite a few, and it depends on the bishop. Well, our bishop, who just retired a couple weeks ago, he went to Rome and petitioned and made sure and he begged them to be okay with us. And totally fine. He stood up for the diocese and nothing happened. Other dioceses didn't have it. So it just depends where you're at, which again goes into the local, locally think thing. Depend where you're at. Go convert everyone, show them the tradition and the truth and the beauty of things like that. Happy, when you're in sales, I never went up to a orthopedic that I was trying to make a sale with and say, you know what? You're an idiot because you go with these guys. You got to stop being stupid. You got to go to me because I know more than you. That never works. You go in, first you sell the product. Show them how good the product is. Show them how great, how good it is for you. If I'm selling it to Rick, I'm going to show Rick how much this is going to benefit Rick. This is going to make you look smart. It's going to make your patient going to love you a lot more. They're going to think you're the brightest guy that they've ever had. They care about you. They care about you. Care about them. They're going to think all this stuff. They're going to love you. But it might cost me some stuff to get you free product, to get you, to get to use it, see how you like it, see if it works. All of a sudden, I got your business. It actually happened a couple of times that way. I didn't sell them with them. Just talk to them. Make them feel good about themselves. Hey, by the way, here, try this out. This is the best thing we got. If you like it, I can get you more.
Yep.
It's the same idea. Do you want to sell the traditional mass on people? Sell it that way. Show them how good it is. Show them the beauty. Show them how worthy it is to them, how good it will make them be and all this. Take them, afterwards, go get drinks, go get pizza, do something fun with them. They're going to start seeing, wow, these people are actually not only care, they're fun. They're not, they're truth. All you got to do is let what they say, let the lion roar, the truth sells itself. So if you got something good, the beauty will do it. I mean, it happened here at St. Thomas Aquinas. They started doing an hour earlier TLM, and it wasn't a travel parish. Everyone stayed and went to the 11:30. Everyone was saying 11:30s because they went, I don't know what's going on, but this is beautiful. So you just what's not going to do it? Use that or bitter or this. I get it. Is the new Mass and Fury? Yes. Will it be around for a long time? Probably not, because you see it's mainly white hair. Go down to this parish 5 minutes away from here. It's literally white hair.
Whiteheads.
That they're literally dying out, literally. And so eventually it happens. Patients, try them. If they don't want to sell the product, just like you do a door-to-door salesman, go to the next door. I mean, we can all recruit. And then I tell some of the guys here, I said, you really want to make sure you're good? Go to Hispanics. Make sure that Hispanics are on board. You find me a bishop that's going to tell a Hispanic traditional mass you're done. Good luck. That might have been 1 or 2 that got knocked out, but they're focusing on French and in United States mostly. You don't see too many Hispanic TLMers.
Yep. Well, I do. I mean, where I am, I've seen them. I've seen a bunch.
There are some. I'm talking majority. Mostly.
You mean like an actual chapel just filled?
Oh, yeah, I'm not looking for segregation in there, but I mean, where we were at, where the main one here, they ended up canceling the Spanish Mass and sending them out and put the TLM in their place. So why couldn't we just bring them in? Why could we just, hey, why do you got to move? This is your heritage. Is if you open that up, 1, increases your numbers. 2, you're looking at a group that is a protected class in the mindset of most bishops. They're going down there. Hey, you care about the immigrants? Well, you don't care about the immigrant soul now. That's a hard one to keep them from. But it's a lot we could do that make it better. But in the long run, when change of atmosphere happens, it's going to be just fine. Just hang in there. It's going to take some bumps. Chick stick. This outline from Replacements. Chick stick scars. Pain goes away. Glory lasts forever. Just hang in there. People have gone through worse and come out better at the end.
100%. Little bit of struggle would not be bad for your soul. There was an article from one of these outlets, right? If they get rid of the mass, most of the people that attend said they'll leave the church. Okay,
yeah,
well, so you're telling me in times of persecution, you're going to leave the church. Not a great flex, because that's kind of like our whole purpose. Our whole purpose is to suffer and to overcome suffering and put that suffering, united to our Lord and Savior's suffering. I'm glad our Lord, people don't like me when I say this, Steve, and I may be out of line. I'm like, I'm glad our Lord and Savior didn't take the same approach you take when it came to his crucifixion, being like, I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it, guys. And so it's kind of, people don't like it when I say that, but hey, what are you gonna do? Because they want to be, well, this is it. Okay. If you don't,
cool thing to
you don't want to be inconvenienced, you don't want to suffer. I get it. I love the lat mass, but if they cancel the one near me in Baylor, I'll offer it up and go to I will stay with the church. I will stay with the church that was started by Peter, where our Lord and Savior asked him to do it upon the rock. I will.
Like here, we have 4 or 5 TLMs in the diocese on Sundays, and we also have 4 or 5 Ukrainian Rite Byzantine chapels in the diocese, in the state. So I didn't know that. I thought we just had 1. Actually, there's 4, and I'm going, well, just go there. I mean, you want some beauty? There you go. You want some hardcore manly stuff? There you go. It's still in the church. You're just going to a different. It's like McDonald's or Hardee's, same place. You're just going different outdoor, different stuff outside. You get the same burger. I mean, not trying to compare the Eucharist to the burger, but you go to McDonald's, you go to Hardee's,
get the same product.
It's the difference. You go to a Ukrainian Rite, you go to an Eastern Rite, you go to the Western Rite, you get the same Eucharist. You get the same confession. You get the same graces. It's just coming from a different way. I mean, even the
different uniform.
Yeah.
And and you guys are lucky. We don't have that many of those near us. So it's like, if it's not, we already talked about this last week. If it goes all the way in ours, then there's like 1 SSPX every other week.
Even in South Carolina, there's 2. There's 2, and you got in South Carolina, there's Greer, got TLM. Now the upstate South Carolina is very conservative in the liturgical wars. So you got quite a few ad orientums, things like that. I remember when I lived there, one priest wanted to break away and create their own diocese, which would have been good, because the diocese shouldn't be the entire state anyways. But you got one every so often in Aiken, where I went to college at, and then there's like 2 in Charleston. So there's 4, I think 4 total. And there's 2 or 3 Ukrainian missions in South Carolina. They didn't even know about it. So I went to the eparchy website a couple of weeks ago and checked out. I go, wow, they got 8 in there. They got 8 or 9 or all over the place. I had no idea. But yeah, some places don't have it. Some places do. But it's just, again, so say you have to go to the NO down the street. All right. Befriend a couple. Convert a few to your ways. Introduce them to some good channels that have good, true, beautiful on there. All of a sudden they start listening and get hooked. Maybe they're coming around to give them some books. Hey, this family is really fun and friendly to be around. What? Yeah, we randomly go to church on mass. We're not blasting you for it, because that's what you go. You start blasting someone else, they're going to take offense to it, and you just shut off that thing. But if they start asking questions, you start winning. They're interested, and then you show them things like that. Again, the mass of the ages. I mean, if for people that know everything about it, it wasn't, for most of us, it's like, okay, that was good. That was a good show. But for the people that don't know, I know like 8 people that watched it. And
it wasn't made for us. It's one of those.
Yeah, it wasn't made for the people.
It wasn't made for us. We enjoyed it, but it was not made for us. It was made for
your
people.
boy Jason. His wife wanted to go to TLM the next week after seeing it. She's not a big TLM fan. Nope. So it works on that level. So it's the way you market everything.
It is,
and you got to pay the price, as Father Mateo said. So maybe we have to pay some price.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
Christ said, "Take up your cross, not hey, get comfy, take up your lazy boy, and have a margarita every night."
Little suffering is good for the soul, and especially here in America, we need as much. We could definitely go with a little bit more suffering because
if something gets taken away, you appreciate it more next time.
Yep.
Not saying people don't appreciate it now. That somebody might think, "Oh, I can't believe you said that." It's a whole. Maybe you appreciate it a little bit more when something gets taken away or a threat gets taken away. Sometimes you love it a little bit more when you get it. Maybe you want to know a little bit more about it. Maybe you want to be better at it next time. That always happens. Talk to anybody whose wife or husband left them. That light switches, and you're wanting to do everything you can to get that back. And you're like, I will change the way I am just to get. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, it's all in God's providence. Mm-hmm. Whatever happens. So you just have to make sure you do what you can with what is at your disposal, because getting mad about it's not going to do a darn thing.
Funny you mentioned about that. Some people are having it worse. I mean, obviously he's Russian Orthodox, but still,
oh my gosh,
priest was shot, and there's plenty of stories like this all over the place. You don't have to worry about that too much here.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is getting, there are an increase in violence against churches and stuff like that. And, we're definitely targeted by the DOJ and all those things, but still, you're still in an okay place right now. So, don't mistake difficult time. Yeah, right. There's Brian. Yeah. You and me, buddy. I'll go there right with you. I'll stand there right now.
I love the Bible churches, and there is this Bible church. Oh, that must be a Bible church. It says Bible church on it.
Hand out. Well, Pastor Jim Bob has his own Bible that he does there. So, and they do have the most creative names. It's the Church of the
Christ
River.
Church isn't really Christ Church.
Right? I go to the Church of the Three Rivers. It's a Bible church, and it's really good. I like here in Texas. We have the cowboy churches, which is there's actually a cowboy church right down the street, highway from me, and I always kind of get a chuckle when I drive by it.
The motorcycle ones are even funnier. Like, what the deal? You got the motorcycle church? Yeah, it's a traveling church.
Yeah, it just moves. It just goes wherever it needs to. So it is what it is in that regard. Okay, so we covered the debate. We covered that. We covered the Russian attack. Is there anything else that we have forgotten to speak about?
You want to bring up the FBI thing? I just got an FBI clip.
Yep. All right, cool.
Mr. Durham, did you see evidence of collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign in 2016?
No.
So the American public that has been told this hoax for years, it was just that, a hoax. Is that correct?
Our investigation showed that there were a lot of failures in the FBI and how they did this investigation that did not disclose or reveal information or evidence concerning any conspiracy or collusion between Mr. Trump and Russian authorities.
Let's sum it up. Vice President Biden and President Obama knew about it. Hillary fabricated it. The FBI orchestrated it, and the media sold it to the public, and it's still out there. The question is, who watches the watchmen? The FBI has become a Praetorian guard here, protecting the nation's capital, but not the people of the United States of America. It is going to be up to us as Republicans, and solely us as Republicans, starting on this Judiciary Committee, to get accountability to the FBI in the United States of America.
I'll do it.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll do, Pig. That'll do.
That's so much confidence in there. I don't understand why I didn't think about that before.
It's just absolutely mind-blowing that agencies directed by a corrupt executive would be corrupt themselves, and conservatives still, right-leaning people still, because of propaganda, believe the line. And I'm sorry, there's good people down the line. There's just bad people in leadership. Just bad people in leadership, but there's so many good men and women. Okay, yeah, those good men, and this is going to get not graphic, but it'd be a little inflammatory. Those good men and women will put a bullet in your head if they're told to. Yeah, I'm sorry to say, you saw it during the cough. Okay, the good men and women, they either left, and if they didn't leave, they protected their pensions and they did the job. So the only cure to it is it being completely, eradicated. The FBI being completely done away with. It's an unconstitutional agency anyway, with all the infringements it has on your supposed rights to keep and bear arms.
Constitution.
I know. Look at me, sound like a boomer over here talking about the Constitution and so forth. But
I got some toilet paper. It's more good than the Constitution.
Steve, if talk about marketing, if you could actually, you probably wouldn't, like constitutions that look like toilet paper.
When I was a big Panthers, during my heyday in college, caring about sports more than anything else, you could make your opposite team's toilet paper with their logo on it. So that was 10 years ago. I guarantee they have that now.
Yep. It's
no idea. Don't get any ideas out there, people. About
no. Copyright. If we can, I don't know. So it's one of those ideas, and so it's it is what it is. Just don't put your trust in any federal agency, any federal any group, any person that's in the Fed. None of it. It's all a joke. And so don't get caught up in it. It's just going to lead you to
You telling me when Brandon posts? Let me see if I can find that real quick. You saw Brandon post that the warning everybody that a vote for Trump means a vote for.
Oh yeah, well they've been kind of going up on that. They've been going into high gear on that whole thing about a vote for Trump is a vote for Hitler and all this other kind of stuff, and Nazis and brown shirts and blah blah blah, this, that, and the other thing. It's just beautiful, just because they got nothing else, and of course it's designed to try and make it look like some kind of competitive race. Even though
that old guy tweets a lot, he must. I can't find it. He got so many tweets.
Yeah, it's just bad. It's just bad with the way they're doing it. So. It's
all a show. Enjoy the show tomorrow. Watch it if you have nothing else better in your lives to do, which you should be at least praying or reading. But
you don't have a book to read or some grass to look at.
If you have nothing else better in your life, you're on dialysis maybe. Check it out. Watch it.
I know a lot of people
just love watching the debates. I used to back 10, 15 years ago when I was really big politics wise. Couldn't wait. Loved them. It was great. And then I would follow some guys and get into chats with them, and everyone would talk about, I can't believe you said that. And people would know, Steve's watching the debate. Yeah, that's talk about an utter waste of time.
I mean, it's gonna be, enjoy it if you want, but don't put anything. I guess
enjoy it like
it's entertainment. It's entertainment. Enjoy the show. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Don't take anything outside of, that was really well staged. That was really well staged and well done. I got some good entertainment out of it. That's nothing's nothing gonna change in that regard. So yep. Do we have
down or anything like that? Let's give them something to laugh at, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
Please work.
Thank you. How are we doing, guys? John, there's rumours going around that you didn't complete a thorough examination of conscience going in today's confession. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm a professional. Preparation is everything. You want to go in there knowing you have what it takes, but I showed up late. I was the last person in the confession line, and I had to scramble. I had to think on my feet, but ultimately, I'm happy with the result, given the circumstances, and I felt pretty good after Father gave me the absolution coming into today's Mass.
John, how confident are you leaving the confessional that it was completely anonymous?
Yeah, I thought the screen might come through for me. I even tweaked my voice a little bit just to make sure that Father won't recognise my voice. But look, as I was leaving the confessional, he asked me to do the second reading. So yeah, he definitely knew it was me.
There's accusations going around that you used a performance-enhancing device. Any comments on that?
Yeah, that would be in reference to my notes app on my phone, which contains my sin list. Yeah, some people would say it's unethical, but look, I'm not perfect. Not everyone can memorize their sins list off the dome, and so I had to pull out the phone and read it off there. I don't see a problem with that. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Who are you with, by the way?
VeggieTales News Network.
Yeah, no more questions from you.
That is well done. That is, and I use performance enhancing devices. And when I go to confession in an hour, I will be doing that as well. So
PEDs are good.
Yeah, listen. Even with that, I'm still super scrupulous. I'm awful. I really am. Am I sure I did everything?
The best is obviously taking a sheet of paper, because there's the microphone from the Clinton era is activated for your cell phones, because now you can't turn it off. You are on, take the battery out like you do it on the old school stuff. Now it's you got to do surgery on it. So obviously the best way is taking notes.
I'll just say this, Brian. I understand that, but if you don't think it hears you when you're writing it down, when you're talking to yourself and writing it down, or you mention it to yourself somewhere else.
Yeah, they got everything else everywhere.
I'm sorry, your phone didn't get it, but your TV and your fridge did. So and I'm not trying to be facetious with you. I get it, and there are people that wouldn't take it, and that's cool. You do you, me do me. I'm gonna whatever. The CIA just has like three examples of my sin list, and you know what? That's okay because I'm confessing it.
Yeah, so, I used to care more about it, and then I was like, you know what? It's that whole line of it's on the Ripker mug. You're not that important,
Brian. So, I strive to be like you. I do, buddy. I love you so much, and first of all, I can't be like you because I am a dwarf and you are a normal sized man. So that's impossible.
And plus you're going to be a Wall Street Journal top 10, New York Times bestseller, right? That's
not even. No, there's not enough books I can buy myself to make myself a New York Times bestseller. They'll never put me on that list. That whole thing's fake too. That whole thing is fake too, man. And so it just, yeah. Anyway, let's do our saying of the week and our cry room. Steve, what do you got?
Cry room. I'm going to go with JJ Redick. I don't have I'm not playing the clip, but he got hired. Everyone knew he was going to get hired for the Lakers coach, and because he had that podcast he was in, go with LeBron.
He was hanging out with LeBron.
That's set. But a fan asked him a question, and he pretty much said, "I don't give a blankety blank." And for somebody that's like, "Hey man, it's a press conference one. This ain't a podcast. Have a little bit better, decorum about yourself."
Well, JJ Redick did pressure one of his ex-girlfriends to get an abortion, so this guy's not exactly.
Yeah, I remember you saying that before. I couldn't believe that because I'm a Duke Carolina guy. So when he was in his prime, Dukies, man, I was. JJ,
he's not there are plenty of athletes that have done that, so it's not just JJ.
Oh yeah, I know, but still, it was one of those things. Like, man, because I love shooters, and just like in baseball, I like left-handed pitchers. I'm left-handed, so I was watching the Tennessee Texas games a little bit, the College World Series, and they had this southpaw that was doing just junk. And then he threw an 88-mile-an-hour one around the corner, and he got called a ball. And I'm on the couch. Where'd that miss? I'm getting excited for him. So yeah, with like JJ, and he was just one of those guys that.
Oh, he got a beautiful. His jump shot was beautiful. His jump shot was amazing.
Oh yeah, when Caitlin's shooting right now, JJ was Caitlin then. I mean, obviously didn't transform men's college basketball, but two could shoot. And so yeah, and then there's that story about Kobe apparently during the Olympics not letting him touch the ball because Coach K was talking him up so much during practice that Kobe ended up hating JJ about it. Carmelo asked him, "Dude, what's up? You're not letting the young pup even touch the ball." He was running through screens denying the ball, so he wouldn't let him touch it just to get at Coach K because he said, "I hate that guy because he keeps talking about him." But yeah, but just that part was
tough. It's I mean, but it doesn't shock me. That's his personality. He's that kind of guy. So it just, yeah, he deserves it. He deserves to be in the crime room this week. What about your saying of the week?
I'll go with Abbeville Institute for putting up the Virginia First 1607 project. Check it out. You haven't seen it. just because it's a long project. Not too many people are going to watch it. Politically wise, secular wise, it's really good. Sure, it's not a Catholic video by any stretch of imagination because the colonies were not Catholic area. They went after the Spanish in Florida because they were Catholic. So, but it shows the mindset of, like we talked about earlier, about the puritanical mindset of the Northeasterners versus the Virginian idea of liberty. Why, and it goes into where some of the guys like Patrick Henry and them got their ideas from, albeit they got some stuff from preachers, from heretical groups, but still we're living that mindset of the puritanical thing right now. So it's good to figure out what the two different, just from the beginnings of this republic, how it started and what the two mindsets were, which you're not going to hear in any, you're not going to see this on PBS or anything like that.
No, you're not gonna find out on government funded networks.
No. Yeah, Texas, that's an easy one. But was it 10 NFL teams that put it up? But that doesn't mean they're not against it. It just shows they're not falling for the marketing campaign.
Yeah, they're just not. They don't want to lose ticket sales. I mean, that's great for the Texas Rangers. It's still good for them. Nothing negative to say about that. I will go Saint of the Week. I'm just gonna be I'm gonna go with Michael Thomas for his whole work on the Catholic land movement and everything he's doing with that, and then being nice enough, being gracious enough to invite a buffoon like me out there to do a presentation. So thank you. He's my Saint of the Week for that. For doing something about it. He's doing something about it. People are into homesteading, and instead of him, he's like, all right, let's bring people together and work through Catholicism and try to make all this work. So it's not easy. It's not easy to do that kind of stuff, and that's what it is. For my cry room, it's Dr. Vivek Murthy, the Surgeon General of these United States, who has decided that he issued yesterday a Surgeon General advisory on firearm violence.
I saw that and I almost texted you up about that going, Rick, so how you doing after this?
I mean, this is just another bit of bureaucracy being leveraged against gun owners. The last time they made a big deal about this was smoking. So that's what they want to really try to equate the two, but we'll see. I'm sure nothing will really come of it. I hope so.
That's just probably my 2 cents on that, just off the bat. When I first saw it going, that's their way of trying to go in and try to regulate anything around any amendment in Constitution from state or federal. It's somewhere thrown into health and going. It was just like how they set up, healthcare. Obamacare was a tax. Mm-hmm. The Supreme Court shut it down.
They wanted to
do whatever you want.
You're right. They've wanted to do ammunition taxes, extra taxes, and all this other kind of stuff. So they may try to sneak some kind of federal tax in on it as some kind. Essentially, Steve, you're right. They're going to try and make it another sin tax, and slap it on there and try to get away with it. Doesn't matter. You can slap as many sin taxes on it as you want. If I have the money, I'm buying it. I'm buying. You will not deprive me of my guns.
I'm hoping you're on the side of Texas on that, but that Texas guy that got his guns for SCOTUS ruled on.
Oh, Rahimi was a bad case, and bad cases make terrible laws.
Yep.
And so I agree with Justice Thomas on that one. There was a reason why Garland fast-tracked that case in front of SCOTUS, because if they voted in favor of it, the left would have said, oh, you want killers to have guns and you hate women and all this other kind of stuff. And so it was just, you weren't going to get the 3 liberals to vote in favor of it. You weren't going to get ACB to vote for it. So that's 4 already off the board against that case. So that left you with Alito. I'm surprised. Everybody thought Alito and Thomas were going to be on the same one, but it was 8-1. And I think since they gave them the bump stock case with Michael Cargill, they gave him that 1-2-way victory. You're never going to get, you have to look at SCOTUS too as pre-planned. They dole them out like cards. All right, well, the 2A gets a win here, but we can't give them both. And the First Amendment wins here, but we can't give them that. So,
also looking at that going, that should never been up to the Supreme Court anyways, because that was a Texas thing and Texas settled it, and that should have been case closed.
Yeah, but it was the the good news is they stacked the deck and they couldn't break the Bruin doctrine, which I know, Steve, I'm not a fan of it, but it's current case law that we have to follow. They couldn't break the Bruin doctrine, which was great, but they did everything they could to kind of put a scalpel around it. And yeah, I don't like Rahimi. He's a piece of trash, but in the end, I side with Thomas on that. And that's really just, he's a much smarter, more eloquent man than I am. So I'm like, yeah, what he said.
Well, you'll join him in the New York Times bestseller list sometime soon.
What's the opposite? The Doonesbury Times bestseller. That's what I'm gonna be. So
everybody buy his book when it comes out. Sophia Press.
Yep. More. I have a conference call with them tomorrow. I'll talk about that more next week. And going on from there.
You're gonna see Rick Mug all over the inner channels, all over the place, marketing.
And we're trying to sell the book, Steve. The last thing you need is my face anywhere. That's only going to hinder they're like, we need a mugshot for the back of the book. I'm like, you sure? Because that's not going to help. Not going to help much. But
is it on the website?
Not yet. I don't think, because it hasn't. I think when I'll ask and see if they do at this point. I don't think just Rick Barrett, I guess you would type in, because that's my author name. So if it's there, it's there, but I doubt it, because we haven't even tomorrow we have to talk about the promotion and going on, who I'm going to talk to and so forth. So no, it doesn't look like it. And that's okay. It'll be there eventually.
I can't get their sales, their search button to work. So
how can Steve? Yeah, well, that's just, I guess they're interwebs. Oh, by the way, yeah, I actually found my rosary last week. I found it right after we were done with the show. So in case anybody was on pins and needles, this is my nice heavy rosary that I if I can drive to a conference, I bring this. I will not bring this through the airport, because TSA will take this thing because it looks, has bullets, even though they're fake, but still. So yes, in case you were wondering, that's my rosary. I love it. It's my favorite one. And it's just super cool. But yep, it's I don't know, Steve. I don't think it's there, buddy.
No, not yet. It's still too far out, I guess.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it'll be on the back page too when they release it. It'll be the one buried all the way at the bottom.
When it comes out, get it for your siblings for Christmas.
Especially if they're anti-gun. If they're your liberal, anti-gun, anti-Catholic siblings, yeah, buy the book. It'll be great. Just to reaffirm all that great stuff. All right, folks, that's it for this new episode of News from the Pew. Please like, subscribe, and share the News from the Pew. We will see you all next week. Please pray for me as I am getting on a Boeing 737 flight tomorrow. And if you read those, the plan, just pray for me to get to and from New York safely. God bless, and Viva Cristo Rey.